Good afternoon, humans. This is your favorite alien doing a special video today on what I would call why the extinction of the human race and why did you guys become extinct? A good example of that would be one of your territories known as the United States of America. Supposed to be the top dog in this planet, as the top economy, as they refer to themselves, the top superpower, yet they have a debt of over $35 trillion in your economy. Currency, something that my race gave up millennia ago. Well, and you got nothing that relates as your nation calls itself Americans. You don't even know what that word is. You say you have communities. What you have is enclaves. People with their own views, their own ways of doing things. That doesn't work. Is there anything like perfection? No. But civilizations like ours know that, and we try to establish the maximum you can get to is, if you're lucky, 85% out of 100. Some civilizations we made as high as 89%. We haven't seen any 90 or 95% yet. And all civilization has difficulty. You're not going to have 100% yay and 0% nay. But you try to get your dissatisfaction or opposition down to 2-3%. We have 2%. There are some civilizations that have 3, 4, 5%. Yours, heck, you don't even have 40% yay, but you do have 60% and over nay. Ouch. And the problem with you Americans is you started out with a vision. You had 2 documents. The preamble to your Constitution, which you finally established after 15 years of going around and figuring out, we're not doing this right. Yeah. So you developed a preamble to the Constitution and then went and adopted a Constitution. Boy, did it have flaws. It still does. It was maybe 20% yay and 80% nay. And it's cost you a lot of problems over the last 250 years, hasn't it? Oh, you betcha it has. And you establish a federal republic. Not a democracy, a federation republic, where 13 members joined, and then through annexation, domination, and coercion, you added the remaining that made you up to 50 states, as you call yourselves. And then you brought people from other countries or nations. And you said, you can live here because we have separation of church and state and freedom of speech. Oh boy, did that cost you big time, didn't it? Because what you have now is enclaves. You developed a lot of us's and a lot of them's. And you got so many now, you forget which was the first us and which was the first them. You don't remember them at all. Ain't that crazy? And the people that were supposed to govern you were supposed to be caretakers. Your Supreme Court for the judgment. Your Congress, that's Senate and House of Representatives, to develop laws that controlled your nation. And the administration, presidency, and supporting people that were supposed to be the executive branch. They were supposed to be caretakers. And they were supposed to take what came before them and said, okay, we have a framework here. Let's make it a little better. But what have you done? Every 4 years when you get elected president, you try to tear down what came before and build what you have now. Case in point, President Trump. He wants to be a king, although he says, I'm no king. He wants to say his word is the only word and nothing else matters. And the Republican Party, same problem. Democratic Party, same problem. It's us versus them. But you got too many thems in the Republican and Democratic Party. And then you got Trump who says, I'm the ultimate poobah here. Although in his case, he wants to be the ultimate Mikado. Is another word to look at him. That doesn't work in your federation. Now you got 35 trillion and growing debt, healthcare that you don't understand how to fix it, people that don't govern because they don't know how to govern, and people that brought their own systems from the other nations, and you got different enclaves, and you elect them as your representatives. Like in Michigan, you got all those Muslims that you elected. You got a socialist now and being elected as mayor of New York City. Oh boy. You don't even understand your own principles. And you expect everybody else to understand you or comprehend you. You don't even know what that word means, comprehension. You don't even know what consensus is. And it's not compromise. Because compromise, somebody's losing. And they'll be growling, oh no, we don't want this. Just like your government shutdown that you're trying to end, supposedly. But you only extend it to January 30th. That's not an end. That's kicking the can down the road. What's going to happen to the people? They're going to be non-paid because you're going to shut your government down on January 30th because you will not agree on nothing here. My civilization had different nation states to begin with about 3 millennia ago. We were exactly like you are. And they destroyed themselves. Literally. They blew up their own solar system because of the stupid way of thinking. 25 people started, 500,000 left my home ancestral planet. Took us 2 centuries, but we found our home planet. Took us another 3 centuries to get it right. So we lived on space stations for 3 centuries. And for the last 2.5 millennia, our 500,000 has grown to 7 billion. We were 14 billion when my ancestors blew up our home planet. You guys are almost 8 billion now. And you're threatening to blow yourselves up. But in your case, you're going to be extinct by a race that used to live here and hate you with a passion. There's a lot of danger out in space, which you're now trying to explore. And you're in no positions to do anything about it because you got your own stupid dangers of yourselves exploding. So when are you going to become human with the other nations of this planet? But you haven't become American yet, so you're not even close to that. You got 40 years and less than that now, 40 years as of July 22nd, so you're 39 and some months left. Oh boy. And you haven't learned a single lesson, and you won't, because in 40 years you'll be extinct. And your planet will be extinct. You'll have 12 billion people in 40 years, and they'll all be gone. Literally. And who do you have to blame? Yourselves. So when are you going to get together and set up, what is it to be American and defend